Hey guys, Anthony here. Good morning. I got some really good responses from the last video that I did that was entitled "Israel, You Decide," and a lot of people made some very good comments, some very interesting comments, and we've got some great dialogue going. So in light of that, and instead of answering each and every comment in depth, it's hard to really address a lot of questions. What I want to do is continue the education process and cite an article from a magazine that I subscribe to and learn a lot from, called Israel My Glory. Okay, I'll put the link to the website in the description box, and then also I'm going to be citing some references of this article by Steve Feldman entitled "The Questions No One Asks," regarding Palestine and Israel, and hopefully we can clear up some of the questions and maybe probably raise some new questions, because there's many people that don't want to know the truth. You know, Jesus Christ said, when you know the truth will set you free. So my recommendation is for especially people in America is to you're not going to be taught this in school or in college, so you need to learn it on your own. So you need to subscribe to magazines like that that give you the real history and not the progressive slant that's put on our educational process here. So in the article called "The Questions No One Asks" by Steve Feldman, that's the May-June 2012 issue. For those of you that want to go back and purchase it, they also have it on electronic format now. It addresses Palestinian statehood, and it says, why do Palestinians need a state of their own? Who are these stateless people? What is their history? And where have they been for all these years? The name Palestinian was coined from the word Philistine by the conquering Romans to add insult to injury to a Jewish nation they sought to obliterate. So Palestinian was coined from the word Philistines. The Philistines were people not related to the Palestinians at all during the Roman conquering of Israel. The Romans conquered the land, but there always remained a Jewish remnant there. That's important to understand. There always remained a Jewish remnant in the land. Throughout the ages, this land was under control of various powers. None called themselves Palestinian. It was the Jewish remnant and those Jews who over time became Palestinians. The Jewish remnant became Palestinians. In modern times, the Ottoman Turks controlled this territory. Following World War I, the British, under the League of Nations, controlled it. The names and players in the land throughout this time were Jewish, not Arab. As Jewish nationalism in the region gained strength, the Arabs and Muslims committed massacres after massacres of the Jewish people throughout Palestine. In 1922, the British took 78% of the territory that was promised for a Jewish homeland by World War I victors and the League of Nations and gave it to the Arabs. The outcome was the non-existent Arab nation of Transjordan. Transjordan later became known as Jordan. This should have been the end of the story. Palestine was divided, though quite unfairly, and an Arab state was created out of the Jewish homeland. 2 states for 2 peoples. Being handed 78% of a territory would satisfy most people. Instead, over the past 7 decades, the world refuses to see is the Arabs' desire to obliterate the Jewish nationalism. As the Arabs stepped up their pressure on the British and the League of Nations, the remaining 22% of the land was divided further. The Arabs again got the bigger portion. The Jews accepted the offer, and when the mandate expired, the Jews declared independence as a nation of Israel. The Arabs declared war. Through this, they were able to gain more territory, though they did not defeat Israel. The Jordanians expanded into what was renamed the West Bank, so as to erase Jewish connection with Judea and Samaria. Egypt grabbed the Gaza Strip. The Arabs in these areas never cried out for independence or claimed to be oppressed. They were part of the Arab nation. Incessant terror attacks followed. In 1964, the Arabs formed the PLO, the Palestinian Liberation Organization, 3 years before Israel would gain control over the Gaza Strip and Judea and Samaria, aka the West Bank. What were they bent on liberating? Did they demand a state from Egypt or Jordan? It was only after Israel's miraculous victory in 1967 that the West Bank and Gaza Strip suddenly had relevance to their Arab inhabitants. That is when the Arab propaganda machine revved up. The world's perception of the Middle East changed. The world now is sympathetic to the Palestinians as if they are the ones who have been oppressed. The Palestinian Arabs have spilled much innocent blood to get their cause out there. Things like murdering during the Olympic athletes in the Olympic Games, airline passengers, bus riders, and diners. All these have seemed to fade from memory. The lesson: crime pays and terror works. Guys, that's paraphrasing some of the article here. This is what we were just talking about. Get the magazine yourself. Do your own research. Remember, knowledge is power. Don't let people fool you. You're not going to learn it in the public schools or in your universities. So you need to get the knowledge and wisdom from somewhere else, and you're going to have to do some digging on your own. I know this is probably going to raise some more questions, and some people will disagree with it and have their own spin on it, and that's okay. But we need to get the truth out there, and we need to start educating ourselves here in America before our country, as it continues to go downhill. We need to stop the downhill progression and to arm ourselves with the truth. This is Anthony signing off. Thank you for joining me. Hope this video stimulates some more conversation. Israel, you decide. This is part 2. The questions no one asks. God bless and take care.